Good afternoon again. 2 videos in one day. Just as I was about to put my tripod and stuff down, something else came into my head that's been, apologies for the smoke because of the fire, but something else that came into my head over the past couple of days. Give me a sec just to try and kill the fire a little. Third time. Something else that came into my head the past few days. What is a victim mindset? Now, I like social media. I think it's a great tool. It's good for communicating and keeping abreast of social thinking and what people are thinking, what's going on around the world and how people are behaving. And the victim mindset seems to be growing on social media. You'll always get people, in particular those with weak arguments for a certain thing, when they are getting beat, they jump to this victim mindset. And I noticed it in a comment. A friend of mine had commented on a post. It was something to do with the usual lockdowns or whatever. And when he started owning this girl, she came out with, "I've got an autistic son and I'm bipolar. Like, how dare you make me feel bad about my unintelligent, just clearly unthought out response to whatever she had replied to on, I believe it was Facebook." And it seems like these people are using it, it's almost like a race card. "Oh, I'm a victim of something, how dare you question me?" And it's so common now that it's not even amusing, and it's weak and it's pathetic. And these people who do it, I mean, I see it quite often. There's a lot of people now in social media that they're in business, whether it be life coaching or fitness or anything, and when things aren't going their way, they always talk about their mental health problems or that they suffer from anxiety and things. Now, everyone, you and me, in our lives have had shit things happen to us that we had to overcome. Now, if you constantly go back in time and live in the past, you're not really present, you're not right now, right here today. Things could be going wonderfully, and I could remember back to a bad childhood experience or a childhood trauma and go, you know what, life isn't great. Remember that time when I was 8 when this happened? It's just stuff that people that have had horrible things happen to them, yeah, you acknowledge it, but you don't use it as like a get out of jail card just to be a bucking narcissist, a attention seeker and attention whore. You've nothing to say. You've nothing to say about the world, whether it be socially, politically, or what you're doing, because you do nothing. When you want a bit of attention, when your wee bubble isn't exactly how you want it to be, you go, "And remember everybody, I'm a victim of this, this or this." It's absolutely pathetic. And the worrying thing about it is these pathetic narcissist victim card losers, because they're losers regardless if they've got £1 million in the bank, 10 grand in the bank, or they're driving a Bentley. When you're constantly playing the victim card for empathy and for sympathy and for Facebook likes and for YouTube likes and social media likes, you're a flipping loser. And the worrying thing is these people have children. So when these people's children are having a bit of a dumb day or a bit of a dud, what are you teaching them? Because, as we all know, God creates man in his own image. What that means is, when you create children, when you play God, when you make life, you'll create that life in your own image. So if you're going to do the biggest thing you'll ever do in your life, make sure you're not a crap image for your kids. My kids don't know a single one of my problems, and nobody does, because you deal with them and you overcome them, and you don't use it as a get out of jail card. Like, if I'm which never happens. Jennifer and I never fall out. We've got the perfect balance. But if something wasn't going my way, if I was to call out and say, oh, but remember, in a past relationship this happened, or this traumatising thing happened to me as a child, so you need to let me away with it. How pathetic and weak. And all these guys in particular, beta males all over social media, talking about how their anxiety is and how their depression is. What do you think your woman's going to think of you when she comes across a guy, maybe not the likes of me, but similar to me, you know? But she comes across a guy who doesn't air his problems in public. She's going to be like, wow, this is a real man and I'm a pathetic loser. And you brought it on yourself because you need to deal with things yourself. As the good book says, everything you need is inside. You don't need, if you're living and you depend on other people for support and you material things and likes on social media and all this crap you're living out with, you need to live within. All you need is inside you. If it's confidence, if it's to overcome depression or anxiety, or as I call it, weak character, because that's inevitably what it is. The name changes, but the things stay the same, like many things in life. There's loads of new names for things that used to have proper hardcore names in the past, but we'll not go into that so I don't get my videos deleted. But yeah, victim mentality. Are you a victim? Most of us have been a victim of something in the past, but you overcome it and you move on and you live in the present. You don't keep bringing it up, because when you bring it up, you're fishing and searching for sympathy and empathy, because you're a blinking loser, you're a weak coward. And never go to somebody for advice and help that is a known weak coward, weak character loser. They're only going to bring you down to their level. I was reading a book recently, a friend of mine told me his buddy had just written a book about his life growing up in a village in Scotland. So I got the book when I came home from Glencoe last week. I read it the same day I got it. And at the end I thought, what a loser. The guy's overcome nothing, and the terrifying thing was that the guy's now in a position where he's working for the Scottish courts and the justice system and things, and apparently he's helping victims of crime, when this guy is still an addict of sex, an addict of women, an addict of other things which he doesn't go into in his book. How is he going to bring somebody with trauma out of that trauma, or even advise them how to free themselves from it, when he's still a traumatised man? He's still dependent on women, he's still a beta male. His book is very graphic in the things that he did and the things that he claims to have overcome, but the guy's done nothing. Now we've even got losers who can write books. I always grew up as a boy thinking when someone wrote a book they had a bit of grey matter between the ears, but apparently not. And people with degrees that had I would have the impression that they would have some grey matter between the ears. Apparently not. Everyone is now a genius. Everyone is now going to live to 200. Everyone's great and successful. There are no such things as losers. Wrong. There are many losers. Look at your social media, all these men and women moaning about past events, just out of the blue, boom, remember this about me, or remember that, or my anxiety, or this happened, this is horrible. Whoa, the world, man, the world. It is quite amusing, but something needs to be done about it, and I think what needs to be done is, guys like myself, people like you, when you see some loser and they're on about how bad things were 10 years ago and this happened to their family, or don't feed them, don't hit them with a like, don't empathise with these pussies, because you're encouraging it, you're an enabler. Same way if your pal's a blinking jakey, and that means someone who drinks all the time, or a junkie, or whatever, somebody who's constantly dependent on drugs. Whenever they're putting up stuff about, yes, Buckfast time, or vodka time, or weed time, or coke time, couple of lines this weekend, guys, ignore them. Don't feed into them, because the less attention they get, that one brain cell will come back to life, and they'll think, you know what, people aren't supporting me, because that's what you usually find. You usually find degenerates and bad and evil and immoral people. They hang in the same wee circles. the people who all smoke dope, they all smoke dope together, and it's all, oh, you're good, yeah, you're good. Or the people that are all shagging different guys and different lassies every weekend, oh, you're great, mate, you're great. The thieves hang about together, you fly with the crows, you get shot with the crows. The victim mindset is just like the race card. There is no such thing. There's either good or there's bad, right or wrong, moral or immoral. Anyway, 2 videos for one day, and that's that. If you're wondering what the other video is about, drink it in, people. That was what my other video was about today. So if you want to watch that, give it a wee watch. But anyway, thanks again. I'll catch you soon. Peace.